Hi, I'm Sandra Allen. I'm an RN. I'd like to introduce our newest undertaking, Project Jordan. Our goal here is to increase awareness, overcome stigma and phobias, providing a safe platform for our Black men to engage in healthier behaviors, hopefully to turn around current statistics that reflect rising numbers of new HIV infections in young Black men. Project Jordan is named after a young man by the name of Jordan Barber, who unfortunately died as a result of complications from AIDS. Jordan was very young and unfortunately contracted HIV at birth. He had been under the care of DCFS his whole life, of course, until he turned 18. And unfortunately, after he was no longer under the supervision of those services, he went into extreme denial of his HIV status. Ironically, many of Jordan's friends did not even know he was HIV positive until his memorial service. The tragic thing is because of the stigma and the homophobia in the Black community, his girlfriend was too embarrassed to even tell the physicians that Jordan was HIV positive. Maybe if that would have been known, the doctors could have prolonged his life. And it's not only HIV, it's STDs and HPV, all that can be transmitted sexually and infect our young Black men. We want to develop an environment where that dialogue is no longer taboo, where Black men can talk about and have places to go where they're not ashamed to get tested and learn what their status is so they can protect each other and the community. Even though they might be heterosexual, it's still something that affects their community. It affects our women and our daughters and our sons. We want to target barbershops because we know that's a place where community is key, and learn how to have that dialogue with our young Black men so they're aware that it's not just hypertension or diabetes or prostate cancer. This is something that directly affects them and their age group. This video that you're about to watch is about Jordan Barber, a heterosexual young Black man, and how his denial affected his family and the community as a whole.
that little boy that I remember at 9 and all the little mischievous stuff and the funny guy that he was, and all that he could have been that he wasn't, or that he will never, have the potential to be, all because he could not face the fact that he was HIV. And it's sad. And I don't know how, I don't know how you help people to be okay with who and what they are. And of course, who and what he was a kid who was born with HIV. And his mother gave it to him, and his father probably gave it to his mother. And you grew up in the system, but you still managed to stay with your family, have other people that love you, that were interested in you, that wanted to help you and to be there for you. So you couldn't have been all that bad, because people did care about him and people genuinely liked him. And yet none of that was enough for him.
It doesn't make me feel any difference. I don't care about your disease or your whatever's going on with you. What?
You want to talk about you?
No.
Sure.
Yeah. What you talking about?
Because that's a great.
No, Julian.
Okay.
Basically, what she was saying is that I have HIV too. So basically, I forget about it majority of the time. I don't go by it. And I don't treat people just because they have something and disrespect them and stuff like that. So.
How many years?
How
many years positive?
21.
21?
Yeah.
21 years?
My whole life. Yeah, so. But the doctors told me plenty of stuff, so I just do my day. Really, so. I don't know. I like helping people out though. That's the majority of me, so.
I don't think you have to speak about it every day. I mean, I don't think you have to shout it from the rooftops that you're HIV positive. I don't think you have to, or you have to take this medication. I don't think you have to do that to live a full life. And I don't think that you have to fight or stand up or crusade or be a volunteer because you're HIV positive. I don't think you have to do anything like that. I think you just owe yourself to live a life that is, I don't know, that you show some kind of regard that you love yourself, and I don't think he did. And maybe that was our failure, and I don't mean our, meaning like mine, because I don't own that of myself. I think sometimes it's a system issue, and one that I don't think you can ever change, because the system is what it is, and they do their best, and it's a system. So you can either leave kids in a terrible situation, or you can remove them, and you can then do the best with them. But somehow, how do we teach them to love themselves? And maybe that was the bottom line. Nobody taught him that. The people he lived with taught him to be angry because they wanted money. So they taught him to not respect who he was and not respect his illness, I'm sure. And they taught him not to love himself. So maybe that, from being such a little kid, really kind of is what really destroyed him. Maybe the fact that he realized that his parents didn't love him enough to not, to give him the disease, or not love him enough to come and ever see him, or not love him enough, to ever acknowledge him. Maybe that is really what ultimately led to him making this decision.
Yeah, my mom was born with my mom had it and passed it on to me. And out of all of my siblings, I'm the only one that has it.
And how did she get it?
I really don't know. I grew up in DCFS, so they didn't really give us the lowdown on what happened until we got out and we found out a couple of stuff that they knew that they was lying about and stuff like that.
We come from a pretty messed up background. The people come in our lives pretending to be a factor, and really not. They have other intentions or, other priorities other than us. And I feel like me being the fortunate one because Jordan was diagnosed with HIV positive at birth, right after me. And before me, my twin brothers, and my older brother and my sister are twins, and they got, it was birth defects, and my sister came out, got caught in the birth canal, lost oxygen to her brain, as well as Curtis. So I feel like I'm the one that's more fortunate at all of it because I didn't come out with no issues.
And when you were on meds, what meds were you taking?
Ooh, shit. That was a while ago. That was 5 years ago. I really don't remember.
Taking a lot of pills?
No. It was only 2 pills.
2 pills?
Yeah.
Tell me about your friends and how they're dealing with it, knowing that you're HIV positive.
Oh, they don't really trip off or anything. I smoke after them, pass cigarettes around. They don't really trip about anything like that. So, and I truly forget like every day about it because I try to forget, and that's what really happened until somebody brings it to my attention. And it's nothing to me. I live my life to the fullest.
I got a call from my older brother, said that he was in the hospital, and I need to, call him. And called him. He said that, he's in the hospital, and so I called the hospital he was at. They said I need to come down there because I'm Mexican. Went down there and saw him on the death, the bed, just lifeless, all because of pride. It comes down to and denial and just when it comes down to it, it's just I'm always gonna stick with this ever since I found out he was gone. Life's too short.
As I had talked to him on the other 2 days, and as I have always been with him, and just really clear, I said to him, you destroyed a lot of people's lives, and including yourself, and you didn't have to die because there's medicine out there, and you could have lived a long life and got to see your kids grow up and be a part of their lives, even if you didn't raise them. But he was working towards maybe even getting one son, so he would have, the likelihood that he would have been able to do that was strong because he had a job now, and he was working towards working with DCFS instead of against DCFS. And so he may very well have been able to raise one of his sons. And so I said to him, you could have had a life. Instead, you made this choice, and here you are, and it's too late. And in the midst of all of that, you gave a lot of people HIV, and probably more than we'll ever know that you infected. And I told him that that whatever I could do, whatever Rico could do, that we had to do something because this could not be the last thing that people knew about you. I said, it's kind of a bummer this is the way you get to meet your mom and your dad and your brother. Something, the 4 of you can do something because they all died of AIDS. So maybe something could be something different here on earth because 4 of them, are gone. So that's really kind of, unfortunately, Jordan's story.
Yeah, I taught one of my friends a great lesson, and he had a hard time with it, but now he's one of my best friends, so it's okay.
So he went 6 years, dude, like without no signs until the last very end, when he just dramatically lost weight, and I thought it was just like because he wasn't eating as much as before, or he wasn't working out as much as more, but like nah, that wasn't it. It was due to the HIV converted to AIDS and just took over his whole body, and just pretty much killed him.
It wasn't enough to save his life. It wasn't enough for him not to infect his girlfriend. It wasn't enough for him not to infect his children, which I knew that he loved. It just wasn't enough. And I don't know how we find something that makes it enough, because I know he's not the only one who has done this. I know there's a lot of straight, black males out there doing the same thing because they're in denial of being HIV positive. I don't know how we help to change that. I don't know how we help people to understand that you can even have the disease, you can take your medication, and if you want to be quiet about it, you can. You don't have to say it to anybody. Nobody has to know that you have HIV, but you don't have to be in denial so much that you don't take your medicine, that you could live with it and not say a word. And he could have done that. He could have just quietly done what he needed to do to save his life and everybody else's life, and never talked about it.